Any shooter or game that is even in the slightest bit shooter adjacent, like Spellbreak, gives you the option to tweak your settings so that your character and camera react in the way that's most comfortable for you when you move your thumbsticks. We've all picked up a new game, attempted to play, and wondered why the default settings were what they were. I don't know how someone could just pick up and play a shooter game without stopping in the settings first to change a few things. That being said, as a console player, going into Spellbreak's settings was a bit overwhelming, as this game offers more options than most traditional shooters that I've played. It took me a while and some research to start to understand what everything was, but once I did, I was able to go into a practice environment and find my groove. That's why I'm here today. It was a bit harder to find a settings video for Spellbreak that catered to me as a console player and explained what the more obscure options do. I found a post that did just that, and I'll link it in the description, but I wanted to share the information on YouTube because, believe me, this info was not the easiest to find. We'll go over the basic and more advanced options today so that your next dive into the HoloLens feels better than your last. Before we dive into the advanced settings, it's important to get the basics down. That means finding the right horizontal, vertical, and zoom look speeds for you, also known as your sensitivity. These are the most straightforward sliders that you're going to see, serving to adjust your rotation speed in-game. Horizontal look speeds affects tracking from left to right, while vertical affects tracking upwards and downwards. The higher the values here, the quicker that your character and field of view will spin in whatever direction you move your sticks. You want to find the sweet spot where you can not only track movements, but also control the reticle so that each shot you fire is calculated. Whatever values you put here are just a baseline, though most casual gamers aren't going to dive deeper than this. They'll find something that feels good and try to get to fragging as soon as possible. They don't even realize that with a little patience and some research, you can make your game as responsive as you want it to be. Clicking on the advanced settings options will immediately pull up the dead zone sliders. Dead zone options change when the sticks first start responding to inputs. A lower value means that the stick will respond to subtle movements in a more drastic way. A higher value means that the stick will take a more defined movement to make a difference in response. Players that see stick drift can compensate for it by increasing this value. The look and movement dead zone options then gives you increased control over both your reticle and your character's reaction to your thumb speed and power, respectively. If you tend to move your thumbstick all the way to the rim to try and track an enemy, you're likely going to go with higher dead zone to rein yourself in and increase accuracy. If you're the type of person who is extremely precise with your thumbstick movement, a lower dead zone is for you. Directly under that is the look sweep dead zone slider. This gives you the option of adding additional dead zones to your existing dead zone options, these dead zones being diagonal. These guarantee that your sticks don't respond to unintentional angled input. If you're trying to scan flat terrain from left to right, the look sweep dead zone is what keeps your reticle from drifting upwards and to the right as you do so. If you're precise with your thumbstick movement, like I mentioned before, you can play with this on a lower value. Below the dead zone sliders, we have the advanced aiming sliders, starting with the look boost threshold. The look boost threshold sets a dead zone on the outer rim of your stick. This means that you don't have to bring your stick all the way to the rim to reach max input. When trying to aim, a higher look boost threshold will see your pronounced thumbstick movement result in a more controlled reaction from your reticle and vice versa. This all comes down to how you handle your controller. If you have a lighter touch, then a lower look boost threshold will work, but if you're like me and have Goliath hands, then go with a higher one. The next sliders are the horizontal and vertical look boost options. These sliders work in conjunction with your normal horizontal and vertical look speeds that we discussed earlier, as well as the look boost threshold option we just talked about. These options affect your ability to rotate when the dead zone on the outer rim of the stick is reached. The higher the value, the quicker that you'll be able to do a complete 180. I say that it works with your normal look speed values because it allows you to choose lower sensitivity for precise aiming while also ensuring that you can turn as fast as you need to. The look input curve is a bit harder to explain, but I'll try to do my best and do it pretty quickly here. The two options are linear and exponential. Linear is the straightforward option that will see your stick respond as it should from the moment your thumb gets to work. With linear, if you move your stick to the rim, your reticle speed will move at a steady, predictable pace across the screen in time with your thumb motion. Exponential sees the reticle movement speed stay the same and then suddenly increase as the thumbsticks move towards its outer dead zone. How sudden it moves will depend on factors of your dead zones. If your look boost threshold is high, then an exponential input curve could become unpredictable. The space between your inner and outer dead zone would be so small that the reticle would go from slow to incredibly fast without much provocation. Linear is far more predictable and therefore the default choice, but exponential allows you to go even deeper and make your settings completely yours. They respond to precise movements with exponential. Having this info allowed me to find my perfect settings. With the newfound knowledge, I went into the practice environment. I set all of my adjusted values to default and then proceeded to experiment with and change them until they felt right for me. You should be able to do the same now that you know what everything is. The settings are not the end-all be-all, however. Your settings make you comfortable, not better. You're probably not going to instantly start racking up victories by changing these. What they will do is give you the best possible baseline and put you in the best position to succeed. Once you hit the sweet spot, the next step is muscle memory. Your settings will become so ingrained in your movement once you decide on something and get to practicing with it. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you're still going to need to practice to get anywhere. And that's what I'm going to continue to help you to do until you're where you want to be. If this video helped you at all, not only in Spellbreak but in any shooter, then please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to continue to make videos like this and the guide series to help out with the community, but I also have some other video ideas that will likely just be for laughs. Keep it locked to MrEyeMakePlays TV to get more plays from me, Mr. EMP. Thanks for all the love and support. You enjoy your day, guys.